I wrote this around a year ago when I was in quarantine. I was flying back home from the UK, so I was in Thailand. I was going back to Thailand. And I had recently gone through something pretty emotional with a guy, and then I think the fact that I was alone in my quarantine room made it so much worse and made me even more emotional because I didn't have anyone around me. You know, you're just alone with your thoughts. So yeah, it's basically just it's a way of me sort of telling everyone what sort of happened to me. And yeah, it's a pretty emotional song. Okay, that's so funny because I wrote the song when I was 14. Yeah, I wrote it so long ago. It was about one of my first crushes. There's this theme of guys at this point. I promise I write stuff about other things other than guys. But it was about my first crush. And then it was actually really sunny that day in my room. And then the light was like perfectly hitting my desk. And then I thought that the light could be a really cool metaphor for me liking this guy. So that's how the whole Be My Light came. So like, will you sort of be that, you know, ray of sunshine in my life? That sort of thing. I don't know how I came up with it at 14, but yeah, there we go. So I started singing and playing piano at a young age because my mom, you know, she's Filipino. She was like, okay, you need to do some instruments. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do piano. And I did some singing lessons. So my mom encouraged me to do that. And then I sang at church growing up. But songwriting sort of came naturally to me when I was 13. Oh, this is so funny. I went through my first sort of like breakup with a guy at 13. Yeah, at 13. It's so young as well. But yeah, my first sort of, you know, heartbreak. I don't know how intense it could be at 13, but I thought it was pretty intense. And then I basically just sat down on the piano. I started playing the chords that I had learned in my piano lessons. And then I just started humming like a really cool melody and then incorporating lyrics and sort of telling my story through that. And then I didn't think that I was sort of like any good at songwriting. So I kind of kept all the songs to myself. You know, every time I had like a little fight with someone, I'd write about it, blah, blah, blah. And then one day I ended up showing my parents and they're like, oh, you're actually really good at songwriting. Like, this is not a joke. Like, you can actually write some cool songs. So yeah, initially it started off with piano and vocals and then songwriting at 13. But then in order to help my songwriting, I taught myself to play the guitar. So then I started writing songs on the guitar from then on.
So do you still remember the first song you wrote? The
Yes,
breakup song?
I do. And it's so funny because the chorus goes like, together we'll mean a word. It's not something that they all say. And I was like, oh my gosh, when I was listening back to my 13-year-old self singing this, I could not stop laughing. Literally, I was like, the lyrics and the melody, it's so funny. But for me to write that at 13, I was like super impressed with myself. Every time I listen to like recordings of myself, I was like, I sound so bad, but you know what? I have to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
I really like Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift so much. Her music is amazing. So I've been a massive Swiftie ever since I was like super young. And then I've seen her sort of grow and evolve as a musician, and I respect her so much. So her music has definitely had a lot of influence on me. But I also really like Adele's music. I think she's got a super powerful voice. And every time I sort of listen to Adele's stuff, it makes me really want to work on my voice so that it can become sort of like hopefully as powerful one day. So definitely a cross between Adele and Taylor Swift.
So do you like her new album, Adele's new album?
Yes, I do. When I first heard Easy on Me and I first heard the piano riff, I was like, woo, this is good.
So how about Taylor's All Too Well 10 minutes version?
I didn't think I would like a song that was 10 minutes long, if I'm honest. When I saw I was like 10 minutes, that's so long, but it went by so quickly.
Yeah, me too. You even notice you won't notice that it's 10 minutes long.
Exactly. If someone didn't tell me it was 10 minutes long, I would not know that it's that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I was around like 17 at the time. I can't do maths, but yeah, maybe around 17. And I got to sing in front of like 10 to 15,000 people, and I think it was the scariest but coolest experience I had ever had. The fact that I was singing, you know, my original stuff in front of these people and then getting such a good reception from them, it really made me want to work hard to be a musician even more. Okay, so my best one, it would definitely have to be, I think the Sam Smith one, because I was really comfortable with myself and my songs, and I was super duper, I want to say confident. You know, I think the audience was amazing and they were super receptive. My worst one, I have to say, was, this is so funny. It was in a show in London, but I had not exercised in like 2 months. And I didn't know that if you didn't exercise, obviously your like fitness, right? It would decrease. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that it would affect my singing. So when I went on stage, like after 2 songs, I was so out of breath that I was like, oh my gosh, I had to shorten my set because I couldn't get through it because I was like, oh my gosh. So from then on, I made sure that like 5 times a week I exercise. So mainly for my physical health, but also for my singing, because if I don't run or don't do cardio, literally I can't walk upstairs and I can't sing. So yeah, my worst one was when I was on stage and I felt like I was panting and like I was exercising. So that was just not fun. Oh, definitely Taylor Swift, 100%. I honestly, like, I love her music style so much, and I think a lot of my music, you know, is influenced by her. So I think if we were to sort of merge our, you know, past heartbreaks and our current, you know, our music styles, I think we could come up with a super cool song. I think it's just like telling my story, but then like having other people respond to my story so well to the point where they sort of feel the same thing. So when I sing some songs, like especially Best Friend, when I sing it, everyone's like, oh my God, like that's the same with me and my best friend. And the fact that my story just connects with so many other people that I've never met, like all in different countries, it's such an amazing experience. This is an unreleased one, but I wrote a song when Kobe Bryant passed away. I was really affected by it. So when I started writing the actual song, like the lyrics were so deep. And then when I was in the studio, I was trying to record it. I was literally like almost in tears, singing it as well. But in terms of a released song, the song Please Don't Leave, out on my Spotify, I wrote when my high school teacher passed away. And he wrote it, I wrote it in the middle of my exams, because he had passed away literally like right in the middle of my final exams in high school. And then I was so distraught by it that I didn't want to leave my bed. And then my parents like, Andrea, like, come on, you know, you only have like 4 more exams to go and then you're done with high school, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I can't do it. Like I literally can't get out of bed. And then my parents were like, you know, if you don't want to do your exams, you can do them in December, blah, blah, blah. But then, so my parents were really supportive about it. But I was like, you know what? No, he would be really proud of me if I did my exams now. So I told myself, like, sort of, if I have a bunch of emotions, I write a song about it, and then it sort of like keeps all my emotions intact. So what I did was I was like, okay, I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna put exactly how I feel in it. I'm gonna do my exams, and then I can come back to like grieving after. So that's exactly what I did. I got out of bed. I wrote this song. It was a temporary relief of all the sad emotions I was feeling. It got me through my exams. And then after I came back to the song and I allowed myself to feel all the feelings that I had put on hold. So I think like while I was in the studio recording it as well, it was a really like sad moment for me. But because I also wrote such like a, you know, touching and meaningful song that resonated with so many other people, I think that also like helped me get through it and helped me get through the whole like writing and recording process.
I could fall in love.